Today's episode is brought to you by Henshaw Trailer Sales of Richland, Iowa, the Packwood Locker, and Smithburg Auto, as well as the Cedar Rapids Titans Arena football team, which you can see on Round Guy Radio's YouTube channel starting Sunday at 5 o'clock as they take on the Midwest Raptors. We've got Coach Eslick of the Sigourney Savages. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Hey, Dave. Appreciate it.
Well, it hasn't been too long since I talked to you, but you did have a couple games. Let's kind of go over the last two games that you played this year.
Yeah, wrapped up the regular season this week. A couple road games. Monday night we went to North Mahaska for our last conference game. I think we kind of had this one, on our radar for a while. We played them at home early in the year. They just lost their best player, leading scorer, right before they played us, and it was very one-sided. I think it was 41-6 at half, and we knew that they were a lot better than that. They just didn't play well that night, and we did, and just kind of a combination of things. Anytime you beat a team like that, just get your guards down a little bit. You feel like, even though it shouldn't be, and sure enough, they really came out and played well against us on Monday night. And we had a really big second quarter. I think we outscored up 23-6 in the second quarter. Jordan Tremmel came in off the bench and had 5 huge threes for us in that first half. And basically that won us the game because it was pretty tooth and nail. I think we were up by 15 at one point in the second half, and they got all the way down to 3 with about 3 minutes left. And John Berg got us a big basket to get it back to 5, and then Braden Wood got a big steal and a bucket to get it to 7. And then Landon Fish came up with a big steal for us late to kind of secure it. But credit to them. I mean, they really competed and played hard, and really took everything we had to get it. And, we kind of needed a game like that. We didn't play great, but we found a way to win. And, we won. I think we've won 10 out of our last 11, and, a handful of those games have been pretty one-sided. And so to be in a game where we had some game pressure and to be in a game where, things weren't going our way, that's going to happen in the tournament. So it was nice to have a game like that. And even though we didn't play great, we found a way to win and finished up our conference record at 13-3 with that win. And then we went to Centerville on Tuesday night, and they're a really good team. I think they're 16-5, I think, is what they finished at in the regular season, and in a predominantly 2-3A conference. And they finished second in that league behind Knoxville, who's really, really good. And so we knew we were going to have our hands full going there. They had at the last check, the leading scorer in the state, and the Rice kid. He's averaging about 30 a game, and it was a really good game for about 3 quarters. I think it was tied 45-45 with about 10 seconds left in the third quarter, and Jordan Tremmel hit a 3 for us to put us up 3, and then we outscored up 20-1 in the fourth quarter to win by 22. So very deceiving score. It was one of those games where you look at the final score and think, it was probably easy the whole way. Well, it was anything but for about 3 quarters, and then Braden Wood probably played the best game I've ever seen him play. He had 23 points, played great defense on the Rice kid, held him to well under double figures below his average on the year. And then John Berg had another double-double for us. And I thought Moulton-Udell played well on Tuesday night as well. So just a really nice win for us against a really good team on the road. So, you go 2-0 on the road in your last 2 games and finish the regular season at 17-4, and a really nice regular season for us. And now we got to turn the page, and now it doesn't matter what you've done in the regular season. It's one and done tournament time.
Well, that's an outstanding record that you got, but the other side of the coin is really all that matters is how good you're playing at the end, down the stretch as you're coming into the tournament. And you did both ends of that. Congratulations on a couple impressive road wins. Tell us who you drew in the playoffs.
Yeah, so our brackets came out on Monday as well, as we were getting ready to take off for North Mahaska. The state released those, and we earned a home game in our first game. Got Moulton-Udell coming to our place on Monday night, and anytime you can get a home game in the tournament, that's great. We were hoping we could get 2 home games. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We ended up with a 3 seed in our district, so just that first game to host more than likely. And yeah, we're digging in right now on Moulton-Udell, a team that we should win, we should beat. But that's when you have a good regular season, when you win 17 games in the regular season, you do kind of expect to have a winnable first round game. And so we'll continue to dive into what they do, and they'll play hard, I'm sure, and they'll come up to our place with nothing to lose. So the pressure will definitely be on us. So we'll want to jump them right away, right out of the gate, and it's one of those games you hope's kind of over by halftime. But we're certainly gonna give everything we got to their prep against them. And then if we win that one, we play the winner of Montezuma and BGM on Thursday night. And if Montezuma wins that, it would be there. So that's kind of what we're looking at for next week. And like I said, just one game at a time, obviously, and we'll certainly won't overlook Moulton-Udell, and our kids will be ready to play on Monday night.
Well, you got a third slot. Is that what you got?
Yep, third. Yep.
Okay, well that's pretty good. Well, outstanding season. I mean, that's kind of what I needed to know. Was there anything else about the season? I know we talked a little bit about some big games from Berg and Yates. Was there anything else this season that was impressive? An impressive performance from someone else on the team?
Yeah, I really think, I mentioned him a little bit, talked about Centerville game, but Braden Wood's really come on strong here this last month of the year. All three of our seniors are averaging double figures in points. I think we got John at about 15, you got Solon at about 12, then we got Braden at just under 11 a game. So really good balance from those three guys. And Braden's had some 20-plus point games here in the last month and some against some really good teams. And I think he's really come on strong. We got Landon Conrad and Ike Molnex in our starting lineup as juniors, and they both had really nice years as well. And then I think Jordan, I talked a little about him. He had that big game against North Nebraska. He's really come on strong off the bench for us here in the last month, really making shots. And, teams are not letting Solon just get free for the most part. And so we need other guys to step up and knock down shots. And Jordan's done a really good job of that. And then we got Hunter Sellers back healthy. That's huge. He played really well at Centerville on Tuesday night as well, I thought. It just kind of eased him back in this last week. The flu hit him really hard. Fortunately, he had a really rough week there about 2 weeks ago. And, want to take it easy with him, obviously, and make sure he's healthy first and foremost. And really feel like in the last, few days, he's really turned the corner health-wise and playing really well for us. And then, we also have Landon Fish, who also is dealing with some illness, and good to have him back healthy as well. And then, Carson O'Rourke and Chase Clarahan also have done a nice job for us, playing really hard in the minutes that they get. So, we've got a lot of depth, and hopefully we can use that and ride that here in the tournament.
Well, can you tell us who your seniors are that we're going to say goodbye to at the end of this season?
Yeah, we've got 4 seniors. We've got Ty Goldman, who, Ty's just the consummate, you know, team player, and he hasn't played very much this year. It was great. He got a start against HLV on senior night, played really well that night. I was really happy for him. He had 7 or 8 points that night, but I mean, just works his butt off every day in practice. And for a lot of teams in our league, he would play, but right now he's behind. He's behind our John Berg, who's the first team all conference likely player, and then Hunter Sellers, who is an excellent 5-man, and then Chase Clarahan as well in the post. And so he's the fourth post guy, and just it's hard to play that many guys inside on a night in, night out basis. So but he's never once complained. He understands it. He gets it. He just wants to be a part of the team and do whatever he can to help us have success. And he's certainly done that this year. And then our 3 starters, these guys have been starting for 3 years now. Just you can really see the experience from them as the years gone on. Just at the end of games, especially, just that that veteran composure that they really show late in games and execute and get the right shot. And they don't always go in, but you get the look you want 9 times out of 10 with these guys. And John Berg, Solon Yates, and Braden Wood. And like I said, they're all averaging over double figures. John's almost averaging a double-double. I think he's at like 9.7 rebounds a game. And Solon set the school record for 3-pointers. We talked about that last time I talked to you, with 9 in a game. Just having a great year, shooting at over 40% from 3, which is phenomenal. And then Braden Wood, he's really been the X factor for us. And I feel like, like I said, I think we've won 10 of 11 or 11 of 12 since we lost that back-to-back to Monty and Pekin in early January. And I think Braden's the biggest reason why we've turned that corner. Just, his ability to go from, some nights scoring 4 or 5 points to most nights scoring, 14, 15, and then getting, 20 on the occasional night. And just that one extra option offensively has been huge for us. So, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better group of seniors, just great kids. I mean, they're going to be, whatever they go on to do, they're going to be great members of the community and just really fun kids to work with. We're going to miss them a ton. But, our hope is we get to keep having a lot more practices with them here in the next couple weeks.
Well, last year after I watched your JV a few times, I knew the future looked bright, and I got to say the same thing for next year after watching this year's JV team. I don't know, we should give out some Father of the Year awards out there for producing some pretty solid athletes up there in Sigourney. You guys always do a great job. Coach, I don't have any other questions for you. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
No, no, appreciate you having me, and yeah, we're excited for the tournament run, and yeah, like I said, we've got a lot of, I mean, that's been my hardest thing all year as a coach, just trying to. We've got so many guys that deserve minutes at the varsity level, and just trying to find enough for all of them has been a task. And obviously, a lot of these younger kids, we would have loved to have played them a lot more than we did, but we've got four starters back from last year, and we've got two or three other upperclassmen as well. And so yeah, it's I think, like I said, I think the future is bright for our program, and we'll certainly miss those four seniors a ton. But we've got some guys behind them that are very capable, and you're always the coach. You're always looking ahead. Whether it's a day ahead, a week ahead, or a year ahead. And I think we've put ourselves in hopefully a pretty good spot to have some success here in the next couple of years within our program.
We've been talking to Coach Eslick of the Sigourney Savages, who really had an outstanding season and are playing well down the stretch, and that should bode well for them in the playoffs. Thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it. Thanks,